Augmented reality smart glasses in focus is a case study conducted by researchers within the University of Waterloo's Critical Media Lab. 6 student participants wore Focals by North, a pair of AR smart glasses, for 3 weeks, recorded their experiences in a journal, and participated in a focus group. The results demonstrate how factors including time, design, functionality, and interactions with non-users impact the technology's acceptance and applicability.